let's see if they can get another here, folks. It's time for the final match of the day. Dickies Arena makes some noise for the KC Pioneers and Space Station Gaming.
Here in Dickies Arena, we have got the hometown heroes of Space Station Gaming taking on a team that have traveled the furthest to try and knock them out. Top 8 on the line. I'm here with Lemon Kiwi, and these teams have had a little bit of a different journey, but both vying for that incredibly sacred spot.
It's been a journey, the last round, last match for the last spot, and here comes Hoxer. Can he help unite this team as that supreme midfielder? Because that's what's really gonna help excel SSG, pushing the Pioneers against the wall, making them make mistakes.
And then when you look at the stories that both these teams have had, it comes down to how Fiverr has performed, and my word, what a player that he's ended up being. We've had the tail end of the year, especially with the Esports World Cup, show off what OCE are possible of, and what they're capable of, but a pinch. Nearly going bottom corner, cleared away by Amphis, the man who right now in the Cast Fantasy League is one of the best players who could have picked up Super Lucky. Shooting dead middle of the net, can't quite get anything in just there. And Space Station Gaming immediately finding themselves under that oceanic pressure.
Yeah, the Pioneers need to stay focused. If they start getting boost starved, they may prioritize those resources over sometimes the ball, and then that lapse is how sometimes those open nets can open up. And SSG, the last time they met them at the World Championship, they bested the Pioneers. Will that be the same thing? This has been the most competitive World Championship so far. Who knows what to predict?
And we've got a crowd here for every single one of these series here on a Friday. Everyone's got to play. Pioneers, I believe the first time they played in front of a crowd for a year or two. Space Station Gaming a lot more accustomed to it. Of course, doing that in London, and that ball, a complete error! LJ gifted the opener.
LJ gifted the L for sure. First he gets bumped off, Fiverr gets confused, and this is what I was talking about. You get kind of too tunneled on boost, and the comms get mixed up, wires get crossed, and that's how these gaps open up. Pioneers, this defense needs to suit up.
I mean, Super Lucky maybe called that he might be going for that, or Fiverr just assumed he was going for that. But that back corner caused a lot of confusion, and LJ gets that first goal. Space Station Gaming attempting to join G2, the only other North American team to have qualified through to the top 8. But with 2 minutes gone with that opening goal, they're going to be quite happy about it. Hoxer continues from his bump, sets it up high for Chicago, backboard, drops it low. Super Rocket actually misses, is open, is anybody going to be there? No, a double commit. Amphis bumps Locky away, and my word, Pioneers look messy.
That play didn't result in a goal, but it got a lot of boost out of the Pioneers, gave a second for SSG to go get their resources to come back and continue the press. The Pioneers haven't cleared. LJ's looking for his second man. That's usually Chicago. And he's even had an incredible event, really stepped up. That's been the wild card that has turned into the ace for SSG. But can they make this a clean series? That's what we're all wondering. And out of all the North American teams, not a lot of people expected SSG to potentially be that number 2. And we'll see if it is. Pioneers have to push them to the brink. And here's Fiverr with a demo. Amphis wants to collect, but Hoxer will bully him through.
And you mentioned Space Station Gaming being that number 2 team. Right now, Gen G had such a disappointing tournament that they left that number 2 spot completely wide open. I mean, Gen G fans, some of them are going to be returning their jerseys based on their performances, but SSG, with their wonderful sort of camo look to it, the Texan hunting look, I think a lot of people are going to be taking them home with them. Fiverr tries to set up his teammates with no one there, and Super Lucky trying to go for bumps on net. Nothing's going to apparate just yet. Amphis right above the crossbar. And we're seeing bumps, and we're seeing these disruption plays come through for the Pioneers, but nothing finding its way just past yet. Amphis trying to set up Fiverr. Fiverr's up, Hoxer misses, nearly a top corner chance.
Yeah, the plan for Pioneers is to disrupt the structure from SSG. Look for bumps in the net. They don't have any boosts, and these touches start to really make SSG keep jumping forward. They're making the saves. SSG are only up by 1 with less than 90 seconds. Chicago receives the pass. Super Lucky will lock it down.
It's a great turn from Locky as well, realizing that I can just fake out and go to the corner. The shot's going to be easier, and he turns it around quite handily. 70 seconds of pass across mid. LJ doesn't make contact, but he stays as a threat. 1 minute with Super Lucky trying to just get something on the board for the team. Drop down low for Hoxha, an error by Chicago. He can play clean-up crew, gets it away. Fiber into the corner again. These erroneous touches from Pioneers aren't working their way. I picture them. Fiber with Lucky trying to team up, tries to get one. Instead now calls in Amphis. Now a foot race back towards the midfield.
Yeah, the Pioneers really need to get some good aggression going on their offense. They're getting beat by Hoxer on the defense, and they're not able to create a lot of threat. But here's Fiber with the fake, seeing LJ who decides over three, and through all the traffic, Pioneers equalize!
Pioneers starman Fiber does it all himself. The 1-2, then straight down into the dunk. Chicago coming in for an awkward side angle, leaves that bottom corner completely open. With 30 seconds, Pioneers get what they came for.
Now that gives them a chance to force overtime. Oh, but you got LJ with a full tank of boost and decides to concede possession so he could play the frontliner. And Hoxer now has to fight for that ball right back, and SSG lost a lot of momentum off of this quick decision. Chicago can't go for a huge dribble here. He doesn't have any boost, so he's hoping he's getting some backup. 11 seconds. Pioneers, you got him where it hurts. Super Lucky almost with a shot. LJ gets it away. Fiber in the midfield. Amphis on Chicago's tail. And with the pinch that goes towards the corner, LJ getting it to Hoxer. The double!
The crowd erupting, 0 seconds, and Hoxha, the man for SSG in previous series, defensively dominant, becomes an offensive oracle as he reads that final play. SSG at 0, take game number 1.
LJ has had so many selfless touches. So many times I've thought, yeah, LJ could get away with that. And he had that beautiful touch to the side that bounced out to Hoxer so he could go for that double tap. That trust, that's what I've talked about in previous series. You need to trust in your teammates. And now more than ever, Hoxer steps up.
We see it on the Mobile One high performance replay. Amphis just raises his eyebrows like, wait, how did that end up going in? That was goal number 1. They then pushed through to get this second. And then finally, 0 seconds. You see Fiber, he's 100 boost in net. Brother, put a hand up. Do something. He didn't realize, and the fan cams are showing off who the favorites are here in Dickies Arena.
At least the defensive slip-ups for Pioneers have been quite limited. Thinking about the very first one, you had that lapse of two players kind of looking at each other, and then the ball just goes into the net. But that hasn't happened more than once. And then you just had kind of a 50, that LJ won, that it got to the side, it got to Hoxer, and then that double tap is a hard one to save. So SSG, they're not ones to rack up the score, not like other series we've seen. We'll see if SSG can keep this up, though.
Big question marks for the Pioneers. They've come through into the 5th series. They're attempting to reverse sweep the entire Swiss. They started off losing to Gentlemates, losing to Secret. Since then, they've gone through Limitless. They've taken down Gen G. Space Station Gaming, the only team that may well stand in their way between them and a half-decade top 8 for OCE.
I'm seeing Super Lucky just be more aware of the physicality that SSG could bring to the table. You just gotta have your eyes at everywhere at once. And now LJ with the flick, trying to fake this against Super Lucky. Here's Fiber with more boost. That is not afraid to challenge us into the air. Is Chicago, an attempted dunk, and the Amphis with the pre-jump going towards the backboard. LJ will intercept. Chicago went for a demo though and kind of quickly adjusted, but the threat wasn't there for Pioneers to punish that.
And Chicago going for that demo, he then gets the next touch. Chicago, I think he is one of the favorites. A double demo in the back line. Hoxha needs to make sure he touches instead. He whiffs and alleviates a lot of that pressure. Chicago wants to make sure that he's going to continue with that hard work. The 1-2, a dunk from Lucky. Onto that back man now, Amphis, no turnaround, Fiber, another pass back, a shot on net, and LJ responds positively to the snapshot.
And the Pioneers offense is alive and well. Look at these demos. Catching SSG off guard. They've kept their post protected. Chicago doesn't want to go too up high for this. Thought he would play it low, and Super Lucky was already up high, and now Hoxer will take the helm. But he's been demoed. Pioneers are out for blood.
LJ wanted to continue as those sharks in the water. Hoxha, a bit of time, takes the touch, goes high with it. It's the on the backboard. They are. LJ ceiling pass straight down. Hoxha moves a little bit too far forward. Can't capitalize on that great pass for his teammate. Lucky 1-2 central. No one there again. We're seeing both these teams set up their teammates, but no one wants to take the bait so far.
Yeah, Pioneers are hoping to trap SSG and maybe force a mistake, and that's been difficult for them to do. Pioneers are only sending one, as Hawkser now has to deal with a lot of cooks in the kitchen, and Chicago doesn't get a strong enough bounce. LJ knows this. He's going to play a safe third-man position back. He can't get this out of Fiber's hands. Now Hawkser, oh my god, Amphis just rolls him over and gets the second touch. Chicago gets a hand up. Super Lucky just didn't have the jump he was hoping for, but trusted Fiber to finish the job.
Nearly a Rule 1 in the final series of the day. A great pitch actually sends it towards Space Station net. Not enough beans on it, however, so Chicago can clear it quite handily. Fiber to the ceiling, does get the reset. Over another for Amphis. He wanted that ball as well. 2 bites to cherry, unsuccessful for the Pioneers. A demo again, LJ with one. It's open, it's Hawkser. It's the goal that SSG have been pushing for.
And this is why. I know everyone cringes when we bring up fantasy, but I've had him at multiple lands because he is such a productive, active player.
He's
if it's not scoring, he's an asset. He's impactful, off ball, on ball. And that's what I love about SSG. They're very selfless in that regard. It's only one. And Pioneers were quick to respond last time. Little pinch from Amphis, didn't get as much power as he's hoping for, and Hawkser wants to beat him to the punch. LJ seems to be playing on his half of the field a lot, conceding kind of the big playmakers to take the job for him.
He wanted to make sure he gets in the end of that pass, try to put something towards this Space Station Gaming net, as they certainly lacked that in this second game. They scored late in the first. Want to make sure that they have a bit more time on the clock in this second one, especially when Hawkser scores at 0 in that first game too. Fiber Central does get the touch, actually 0 boost, he can steal that back 100. Now Pioneers with the advantage. Hawkser, however, removing 2 from the pitch, and it's open at the back for LJ to push through. A dunk! Bottom corner! LJ the prophet!
Just for SSG to spit back at them in that moment when Pioneers had the boost steal. They were sending 2 up. Everyone had boost. They caught SSG lacking, and SSG just fed it right back to them. Incredible for SSG to mitigate that type of aggression. We'll see how Super Lucky and friends, if they can get some boost, can they really pick up the pace? And with that demo, it's SSG at the front, and what a save from Fiber!
Stunning demos from Hawkser, reining in. Nobody on Pioneers feeling certain and confident in their positioning. It means they're going to move more erratically. They're going to feel more scared. No one can sit still. They're going to use more boost. Just the threat of Hawkser being nearby is going to be enough. LJ, a reset over Amphis. Not enough distance, but Lockie gives it straight back towards SSG. Chicago attempts it central. That is a very brave turn from Hawkser. That, again, shows his confidence in this series.
Hawkser's all over the place, off the ceiling, trying to pinch it down, and now LJ gets involved, and I think SSG are going to have to try to pull out these defenders. I mean, if they want more goals than they already have, it's Pioneers that need an answer, and they never have the boost. Look, Fiber can't even get into the air, but it doesn't matter. The hero is here.
Super Lucky takes to the sky, receives it from that dunk of LJ. The only man of Hawkser. Can't quite erect the wall in time in the net. Reduces the lead just to 1 now. 46 seconds, and Pioneers still work to do.
Super Lucky doing Superman things. I can't believe he flew for that one. And he's looking for more. Amphis is trying to bump Hawkser, who recovers beautifully now to the side. Fiber gets a bouncer that almost gets to Lucky. Now Amphis trying to dribble against LJ. That's a tough task, and that kills the ball. As SSG feels safe for now, but Pioneers are hounding them. They know time is running out. They start to swarm SSG, and they want to keep them trapped, and LJ can't even seem to carve through a lane for them. And Chicago tries to buy time to get a passing option. Now Hawkser races Amphis to the air. Chicago and LJ just want to keep possession. All they have to do is kill the last 7 seconds, and maybe even get more for the road. Pioneers, they got to wake up now. 2 people with boost. Who's getting on this ball? Nobody!
Game 2 going the way of those hometown heroes we mentioned, and scratching heads on Pioneers, trying to figure out what is it that we did earlier on. How did we beat the number 2 seed in North America? And how do we replicate that here a little bit later in the day? We look again at those Mobile 1 high performance replays, and we just identified the fact that Space Station Gaming right now are in the heads, are in the minds of the Pioneers. That dunk is spectacular from LJ. You see how much it means to the crowd here in Dickey's Arena. Game number 3, things have to change. Pioneers did not make it this far through just to go out 3-0. This is not what their tournament looked like. They were saying, look, you asked us yesterday, to be completely honest, we weren't that confident. We weren't that confident we were going to reverse sweep the Swiss, but they clearly found that confidence somewhere, and that is what needs to be reignited as we head into game number 3.
And everyone's eyes widen when Pioneers beat Gen G, and I think SSG had to now really take this match seriously. Obviously they did, but Pioneers, what a road they've been on, from an 0-2 spot in Swiss to try and reverse sweep to make top 8 for the first time in years. And can SSG just prove that they were number 2 all along?
Pioneers countrymen power, they couldn't get it done. They failed in the 5th. Pioneers here now have a chance to make oceanic history for the first time in half a decade, but SSG don't want to send G2 into the abyss alone. A second North American team is well on the cards, but can they get the job done?
Hoxer's already hunting for corner boost. He wants to dwindle Pioneers down early and stress them, but it's Fiber that gives them life. Amphis hunts in the net, but Chicago's on the back wall, making this difficult for Pioneers to really get creative. Now Super Lucky has an awkward flip, and Fiber has to reach up and keeps everything at bay.
Fiber awkward in that back corner, does well with very low boost. LJ going for those bumps. Chicago, this time it's his turn. Lockie does make contact. Amphis low on the back again, misses the bump on LJ, and suddenly the pace turns back towards SSG. Fiber, a reset, 1-2. Gives the ball straight back towards Chicago. Amphis corner. Lockie a shot on target, but Hoxer clearing away quite handily.
Pioneers can keep up pressure, but it's not just about the first touch, but how you follow through with it. And thinking SSG looked awkward. Pioneers, I like that they're getting aggressive. Fiber didn't have the greatest first touch. I thought he had time to give it to Super Lucky, and SSG, a brick wall in the net. And Chicago almost caught them slipping.
It was so messy for SSG, and yet Pioneers still couldn't capitalize. No one was back, but they couldn't coordinate themselves to actually get a good chance. LJ trying to get on the jump from Chicago's clear central. Amphis 1-2, ground pit gets it in! Pioneers, their first series lead.
Amphis finally with a roar after a quiet game 2. And he is such an impact player. He produces so much, not just on the ball, but off the ball as well. And in those crucial moments, Pioneers need to execute. SSG will not give them these windows of opportunities. And it's important for the mechanics to be on point for Pioneers. Got LJ flipping. Pioneers assess. Super Lucky with the 50. And LJ can't seem to break them out. Here's Amphis running for a shot, but Super Lucky was bumping.
I will say, though, SSG in this game have looked much more susceptible to those overcommits. Certainly look like they might be in their heads a little bit more. We've seen that defense get messier and messier. And there, it's a perfect example. Fiber sees the opening and takes the opportunity.
Chicago was mid-air in the midfield. And LJ tried to get it to Hoxer, and it's Pioneers that beat them to it. And that's the type of pace increase I wanted to see out of Pioneers, to really make this defense uncomfortable. And so far, that is the truth. 2-0 for Pioneers. A lot of time for SSG to respond. They cannot relax. Not quite yet. And LJ against Amphis. Way to slow down the play. Chicago layers up. And Super Lucky against the lot. He's got SSG kind of tangled, and Fiber comes in with the demo to make that even worse. It's chaos in the SSG field. And Amphis couldn't find the backboard, wanted to collide into Hoxer. And Super Lucky is trying to slow us down as best as he can.
Such confident play from Hoxer as well, going around that entire back line, but a demo opens things up. LJ with no boost, can't really adjust for it. So Lockie's going to clear it for the corner. Chicago with decent speed, but not as fast as Fiber. Lockie now lurking at the back, and it's passed straight to from Hoxer. Amphis up first, on target. LJ to save. Chicago pips it up high. The only man who's going to be there is one from Pioneers, however. SSG, with under 2 minutes left, are attempting to shut down Pioneers in this third game. But Pioneers, they keep on kicking. They secure their... Oh, no, they don't!
Oh, the back pass towards Fiber, and he thought he had time to go up the wall, and Chicago makes it difficult. Now Amphis will collect. Chicago just wanted to get the ball away, but not to this guy. And LJ had time to get to the backboard, to get a long clear. Chicago follows through, but he has to land on the ground. He got bumped off.
opportunity again. LJ finds another player on the opposite side with Super Lucky. Able to clear it away. A reset attempted, carries it a bit further. And a much better game plan here for the Pioneers. Lockett can't get the ball, instead goes for the boost, something very vital to Chicago. LJ passes it off, then gets sent to the scrapyard for his trouble. Hoxer, central, attempts on the bump, instead gets a touch on the ball. Lockett now low. Final minute, Space Station Gaming need to chase two.
Pioneers have cleaned up a lot of these first touches that have made their job a lot easier and a lot better to execute quickly as well, so SSG have to adjust. Now Chicago starts to steal some boost. He's able to take the ball up, barely getting it out of Super Lucky, so Hoxer will try again to the ceiling, down. A great read out of Fiber. The Pioneers are gonna have to do a lot more than that, but it's SSG that are down and haven't registered any goals.
Hoxer central finds LJ, does get the shot off. Saved it by a Pioneers player. Chicago though! After that extended offense, finds success. Space Station Gaming bring back one. Still one more needed.
The equalizer is within reach for SSG. They've woken up at the last 24 seconds. And can they put Pioneers to bed? It all depends what LJ can do off the rip, dancing against
LJ, who do you think you are? This man does not feel pressure. He creates it. 18 seconds, drawn level, Space Station Gaming bring it back to 2.
And that's why LJ is one of the best. But 18 seconds. Will we go to overtime? LJ at the helm of the ceiling to Chicago. Super Lucky will not let it happen. One last play to see if they can steal away game 3. Amphis on the wing. Super Lucky with the fake. The delayed touch against Hoxer. Concedes possession though. Chicago, Hoxer with power to the ground. Overtime.
A chance here for Pioneers not just to reverse sweep the series, but the Swiss in total. Pressure falling straight to Chicago. Midfield challenges first. Amphis has that 100 boost, so it's a chance. Super Lucky up high. Both his teammates start to abandon him. Instead, Amphis turns back round. I think the momentum entirely on SSG's side here.
Yeah, SSG doing their best here. Amphis, he's being hounded. He's got coverage. Fiber sees Hoxer. Hoxer almost gets the land. Goes back. LJ with a clear right back. Pioneers, they're kept on their toes.
Fiber midfield. Anybody going to be there? It's going to be Hoxer. Pinches just past the post. Agonizingly close. KC Amphis is going to be able to pick it up. Chicago, a very good kill in that midfield. Rather than that back third, Amphis now to keep clearing it along. A lot of pressure building in the midfield so far. Fiber, a chance. He's been the star man so far. Can't quite get around LJ.
But he's low on boost, so Super Lucky has to take over. And SSG have such great touches to keep themselves safe. And look at this follow through from Chicago. He's going to steal the corner boost. And Hoxer can do a lot too. There he is in the midfield to disrupt this. And he misses that touch. Got Pioneers scrambling. They're scared. They're not leaving their half. And how can you not be? And Chicago almost had him scared again.
Amphis again for his own back corner, but nobody following. It's going to be a little bit awkward for this pressure to be maintained. Pioneers, they've had chances. They need a moment. A reset, 1-2 from Fiber. No bump, however. Lockett goes high. Amphis in next. LJ clears the ball away from him, prevents that shot from happening. Lockett, though, on target. Amphis sends it high. 1, 2, 3. Shut down by SSG.
How many saves is it going to take on SSG? Now Amphis trying to center this one out. Chicago, the Knight in net. LJ still doing their best. SSG barely keeping their heads above water. And this goes all the way back. Wait, that wasn't a great touch out of Fiber. Super Lucky knows no one is coming. And they're sending it right back into SSG's face. Now in overtime, 2 minutes. LJ to the side. Chicago sees the net, but Amphis won't allow it.
Attempts to dunk on that final man as well. Hoxer just heat checking Super Lucky, but at 3 miles an hour, mate, that one is not finding its way in. Fiber gets a flick towards Amphis. Lucky on target. Hoxer back just in time. 2.5 minutes into this overtime in game number 3. Tournament life on the line. A bump, but Amphis can step in his goalkeeper shoes.
Oh, Pioneers are getting physical, and it's been difficult for SSG to connect on these passes. Super Lucky to Fiber, no, denied. SSG, so many saves to keep this extended. LJ, he loves to have a full tank of boost. He can't get a good first touch. It's so powerful. It gets away from
SSG soar among the stars, and they join G2 in our 2024 World Championship Top 8 playoffs.
What an incredible game. Holy cow, Pioneers put it all on the table. Like 15 shots, like insane. It was back and forth. 3 minutes of overtime. And it was LJ building that confidence in overtime, the one that would collect boost, have time on the ball. And he had such a good second man, whether it was Hawks or whether it was Chicago. They looked united on the front. And united, they will not fall. It is the Pioneers that are sent home, but what a showing to get all the way to round 5 to beat a team like Gen G. Incredible stuff out of Pioneers.
Opportunities went missing from Pioneers, but SSG absolutely took theirs. Down in the middle of the stage, we've got Leaf with an interview.
Give it up for Hoxer and Space Station Gaming! Give me more than that.
Let's go.
There you go.
Okay.
I'm curious for you coming into this. I mean, you know, you don't have much experience playing on the stage here.
Yeah.
What's it like? What were the thoughts coming into this? Do you try to block that out, or do you let it just seep in?
I wasn't really focused, on like listening or anything, but it's really nice having the crowd back you for once. This is my first ever crowd in NA. USA, baby! Exciting.
Taking my job from me. Good job.
Yeah.
I was actually just about to ask that. What's it like now having the back? Because obviously when you guys are on stage before, it's an audience that's not necessarily going to back a squad like yours. Having the NA, does it help you?
Oh yeah. You can hear the ground shaking or like your head vibrating or anything like that.
Right.
It's just like, it's really nice.
So this matchup specifically now against an OCE squad that's starting to look really good. Were you nervous at all? Like, did their kind of momentum worry you that there could be trouble here?
No, not really.
Okay.
We're just like playing. It's more of the crowd and just being in the middle of all this. That's scary, but it was fun. So we were looking forward to it. But we wanted Gen G though.
Well, where are they?
I don't know. I don't see them.
That's great. I do want to ask for you personally, though, on a day like this, is there anxiety, because you played at the end of the day, is there anxiety that builds up in your head leading up to this? Because I know if I'm sitting there waiting for my match, I'm shaking, like I'm worried all day.
Oh, dude. We were told, like, oh, you're going to be sixth, you know, you're going to be the sixth match. And then we got iced for another, like, hour and a half, so it was all right.
Yeah.
We got the most crowd, I think, so that was worth it.
Yeah, it definitely was. They made it worth it. Now, I want to know for you, would you have preferred going 3-0 during the Swiss Abyss where there's no audience, just getting it over nice and getting to top 8? Okay, answer my question, or in front of this. But you were here, so why don't we make them yell for you one more time? Let's let you go celebrate as they give it up for Space Station Gaming!
North America has 2 representatives in the top 8. We started the day with 16 teams. We now are down to half of that, Gibbs.
Down to 8. 8 teams got sent home. Pioneers had a run there. They sent home 2 of those teams and had upset after upset, but finally it just ran out. The clock hit 12. OC turned into a pumpkin, and they go 9th place again.